Good morning from Mystic Fitness on this rainy Wednesday. Starting off just a minute late, thank you for your understanding. My name is Kat and I'm going to be guiding you through this practice for today. So I want to encourage you, grab some blocks, grab a water, get yourself really comfortable for this practice, and don't be afraid to get anything during the practice that you need to make yourselves a little bit more comfortable. So we're going to get into a position, either lying down on your back, or you can come into a seated position, any place that feels really good for you. And I want to allow for you to close your eyes, letting there be this unlocking from the jaw. Let the cheeks become soft. Let any excess energy that you have, notice it. Let it surge through you. And allow for it to just start to seep down into the earth, letting it settle. Notice what it feels like for your eyes to be closed, for there to be this awareness of centering. Become aware of the breath in its natural state. Notice any resistance that you might meet from within the body. What's going on with you today? What happened overnight during sleep? Or when your eyes opened this morning, what was the first thought that you had for the day? So often those little moments help to form what's to come for the rest of our day. But at any point throughout the day, any point throughout a moment, we always have permission to just pause, to breathe, and to reset. Gently start to encourage the breath to grow. So as it grows, feel the expansion from the belly, the broadening from the chest. And as you exhale, notice the journey of the breath as it leaves the body, how the belly button draws in towards the spine. And there's a gentle collapsing from the chest. Let the belly become soft and pliable as you inhale. Let it expand. Let it grow. Notice a pause. And as you exhale, follow the breath out. Inhale, slow breath in. Now for this exhale, see if you can double the time for the exhalation. And if you don't know what you did on the inhale, it doesn't matter. Just see if you can lengthen it a little bit more. And we're just going to find maybe a count for your breath and a longer count for the exhale. Just taking one more cycle of breath. What does it feel like at that end of the exhale? That surrender. Take a deep breath in. This time as you exhale, open up your mouth and let it go. And we'll do one more deep breath in. And exhale, sigh it out. And let it go. If you were lying down on your back, we're going to just gently make our way into seated. So you might choose to draw those knees in and then rocking yourself up to seated or rolling on to the side. And if you're already seated, just encourage the head to drop from side to side as our friends who are lying down on their backs make their way into seated. And even noticing here as you start to move the body, as you start to allow for the head to rock from side to side, what it feels like for you to move and just to gauge the body. I find myself, what's interesting enough, I think this happens every 4 years around this time, I find my shoulders really being bunched up towards my ears and some tenderness from within my neck from that little bit of stress. So I encourage you to give permission to let that stress just soften away. Maybe keeping your eyes closed as you move. And we'll just gently come into center. If you do have a prop underneath your glutes, you can remove it. And we'll just reach our arms up to the sky. As you reach the arms up to the sky, just circling out the wrists and encouraging some tipping of side to side. Even throughout these positions that we create, you might move the head, the neck, the shoulders to see if what we're doing feels right for us and we're not locked into a position. Maybe even letting those hands clasp and pressing them up towards the sky. You can even drop that head back if it feels good, or find the opposite position, dropping chin to chest. So often the prescription for our body is very specific for us. So that's why we kind of move into positions that feel right for us. Slowly releasing the right hand down to the ground, and that left hand is going to stretch up and over towards the right side. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Now, rooting down into that left hip, I want you to take a deep breath in so it stretches the whole left side of the body. And out. On your inhale, both arms reach up to the sky. And on your exhale, release that left hand down. The right hand is going to stretch up and over towards the left side. Relax shoulders away from the ears. And even press down into the left hand, making sure that right hip stays rooted onto the earth. Take a deep breath in. And out. As you inhale, slowly come back up to center. And then bring your hands down towards your shoulders, and we'll start to circle those shoulders out and around a bunch of times. And again, this is another opportunity to just find some organic motion that feels right for you, circling out the shoulders. Maybe it feels good to alternate them or move them together. Maybe movement of the neck can feel pretty good in this position as well. Take another deep breath in and out. Then bringing your hands to your heart space and gently bowing your chin. Notice what it feels like within just a few moments, how our lives can shift. Our awareness can shift. Our perception and our attitude can shift. So maybe the past little shadow stories of ourselves, the former us, changes moment to moment, breath to breath. What brings you here today? Maybe it's for grounding, for connection, or maybe it's just for peace. We are going to open our practice with the sound of Om. So we'll first take a cleansing breath. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale. Slowly bringing yourself into your tabletop position. So the great thing about us coming together virtually is we get this chance to be together even if we're separated and working through all this technology. It's a new life. We get forced into these positions. So coming into that tabletop position, we're going to find some cats and cows, lifting our tailbone, opening up our heart space. Again, finding motion in the neck, the head, as you exhale, round the back and gently press hips back towards heels slightly. On your inhale, lift the tailbone, open up the heart space, and exhale to round. What's interesting, we'll go through our cats and cows, is in some ways I shy away from technology. I get consumed by it. You know, you can Slack me, Discord me, iMessage me, and it can seem very overwhelming in the world that we're in. But the best thing is you can take it at your own spoonful of technology, whatever feels right for you, and then give yourself permission to let go of the rest. And we'll find one more inhale, lifting tailbone, opening up the heart space, and exhale to round. And then pressing the hips back towards the heels, coming into your child's pose. Reach those arms towards the front of your mat. And I want you to press just the fingertips down so the arms are off the mat and start to encourage the right shoulder to sink down and the left. So even though it might feel rainy and cold, inside of us we can find that sun. We can find that warmth. Of course, if you choose to take more of a passive position in anything I suggest, do what feels right for you. After all, this is your practice, and all I'm offering are suggestions for you to try to wrap your body around, wrap your mind around. And know that child's pose is here anytime you need to pause and to shift, just to let it all go. Take one more deep breath in and out. On your inhale, we'll press ourselves up to our tabletop position, finding this strong position in our tabletop. Draw the abs in, and then slowly start to spiral the right arm up to the sky. Take a deep breath in here, and on your exhale, right hand is going to go to the back of your mat, down to the ground, forward, inhale up to the sky, circle it back, down, forward, and up, and one more time. Finding this big sweeping circle from within the shoulder. Notice how when you move the head in this circle, lock can start to open up. Now the next time you have the arm up to the sky, take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, I want you to thread the needle. Drop down onto the right shoulder, pressing those hips up towards the sky. Let the whole body be enveloped over that right shoulder. Relax any kind of tension from within the right hand. And you have the option here to stay exactly as you are. It could feel good to be right here. Maybe you step that left foot to the back of your mat. That left leg could lift up. Or you could do the right arm up. Or you could do arm and leg together. And just remember, throughout this practice, we're trying to eliminate the crazy, not to add more into it. So always go to that place that feels right for you. Take a deep breath in and out. Slowly releasing hand and knee down to the earth if they were lifted. And on your inhale, lift that right arm up to the sky. And exhale, land the hand down on the ground. We're going to do it on the other side. So on your inhale, take and lift that left arm up to the sky. As you exhale, bring it to the back, down, forward, and up. Finding your breath match this pattern. And just one more time. Again, notice how when you start to move the head or the neck, a lot can start to open up. Take a deep breath in, left arm stretched up. And on your exhale, thread the needle, land down onto that left shoulder. I always love to wiggle once I get into a position, see how things can start to open. Again, option to extend left or right leg to the back of the mat or right arm up to the sky, lifting one, the other, none. And it might be different than the other side. We can't compare apples and oranges, which is one side to the other. Now on your next inhale, drop hand and knee down to the ground. And then slowly start to let that left arm stretch up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And release the hand down. Getting those hands under shoulders, right leg is going to go towards the back of the mat. We're going to make some V's, upside down V's, with our right heel. So you're going to lift that right heel up and then drop it down to the left. Lift up, drop it to the right. So we're creating a tight little V. Yeah. And every time you lift that leg up, I want you to squeeze into your right glute. Flex the foot as much as it feels comfortable. And it's just tapping from that left side to right side, left side to right side. And we breathe. There's no real pattern for this breath because the movement is pretty quick, and I'd rather have you have a slow breath than a fast, rapid breath for this. But we're gonna go for about 5 more seconds. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly drop that right knee down. Left foot is going to go towards the back of the mat. We'll do this on the other side. So again, press the hands into the ground, lift up higher, and we're going to lift that left leg up, drop it over to the right, and then come back, finding our little upside down V. Now every time that leg lifts, I want you to squeeze into the left glute. Try not to dump down into the lower back. So see if you can keep that core established and strong this whole time. Notice if there's any tension from within the neck, and just breathe. Maybe lifting the corners of your mouth and finding this enjoyment of what it's like to participate in the strength of your own body. We have 5 more seconds. For 3, 2, and 1. Drop that left knee down and press those hips back, coming into your child's pose. Knees can open as wide as it feels comfortable. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, pressing yourself up. Tabletop position. Tuck those toes and press the hips back and up. Coming into your downward facing dog. You might choose to pedal through the feet. Find some additional motion or movement that feels right for you. See if you can draw the abs in and try to lift that tailbone up even higher. And then getting those feet together at the back of your mat, root down into the left foot. That right leg is going to lift up towards the sky. And on your exhale, I want you to step the right foot towards the front of your mat. Hands can go on blocks. And you might reposition the body. If you find yourself not in the position that feels right for you, notice how you're never stuck in concrete. Squeeze the back leg and front leg in towards each other. Always an option to release if you choose, left knee down to the ground. Take a deep breath in and out. And one more deep breath in and out. Rooting down into the left hand, right hand to the thigh. Start to spiral the right shoulder up to the sky. As an option, you can extend that right arm up. Just make sure we're not dropping all of the weight into that left wrist. See if you can engage the legs, engage the core to lift up a little bit higher. Take one more deep breath in. And on your exhale, release the right hand down. Now lift your hips up and step that left foot forward to meet the right. Blocks might shift off to the side. Elbows can come down towards the thighs as you shake at the head, yes and no. Take a deep breath in and out. One more deep breath in and out. On your inhale, bend those knees, roll up to standing, arms sweep up to the sky, and exhale, hands are gonna come towards our heart space. On your inhale, open up the arms, bend the knees, exhale to round. Inhale, open up the arms, and exhale to round. And one more time, inhale to open, and exhale to round. Inhale, arms are gonna reach up to the sky, and then as you exhale, slide them behind the back of the head. See if you can squeeze those arms in towards each other. You can bend those knees, tuck the pelvis to find a little bit more space and protection of the lower back. Take one more deep breath in and out. On your inhale, reach those arms up to the sky, and exhale, sink into your chair. Hips are gonna glide back. The weight is in the heels. Lift up the toes. Relax those shoulders down and away. Inhale, stand up tall, arms sweep up to the sky, and exhale, sink down into your chair. We're gonna go 3 more times. Inhale, stand up at the top, squeeze those quads, grow a little taller, and exhale, chair. 2 more times. Inhale. How much can we grow in this repetition? 1 more time. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale, chair. Take a deep breath in and take those arms, stretch them towards the front of your mat. Relax those shoulders. On your exhale, release hands down to the ground, head, neck, shoulders, everything relaxes. Hands to shins, inhale to a halfway lift. Bending those knees, see if you can really roll those shoulders back and away. And on your exhale, release hands down to the earth and step your feet to the back of your mat to come into your plank. Coming into our plank, tuck the pelvis, squeeze into the core. Feet can be separated for a little bit more support or together to make it a little bit more challenging, or knees to the earth if that feels like a better place for you. There's no such thing as something that's too easy. If something feels accessible, is what I like to call it, it means you can add more body awareness to it. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, knees to earth first time. Exhale, high plank to low plank, coming down. As you make that descent, really focus on letting the chest hit before the belly. Now squeeze your glutes, press the tops of the feet into the earth. Inhale, head, shoulders lift up. Slide shoulders away from the ears. And on your exhale, release down. Inhale, press up, tabletop position. And then tuck those toes, down dog. Take a deep breath in. And releasing. One more deep breath in. And let that breath go. Getting those feet together at the back of your mat, sweep. On an inhale, the left leg up to the sky. And on your exhale, step that foot towards the front of your mat. Hands on blocks. Again, option to release that right knee down to the earth is there for you. So you can always have that. Squeeze front leg and back leg in towards each other. Notice how low you want to go or high you want to go. Notice what the natural positioning is for you. Maybe the whole thing's unnatural. So how do we just find comfort in a place that feels uncomfortable, if that's what it feels like for you? Rooting down into that right hand on a block or not, you're gonna bring left hand to the left thigh and start to lift that left shoulder higher than the right. Finding your twist. Find motion in the neck. Squeeze those inner thighs in towards each other. And then slowly spiral left arm up to the sky. Sometimes holding a posture is so much harder than movement, right? So how do we find that movement of energy that we have to focus on our own internal strength? Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, release the left hand down. Lift your hips up, slowly stepping that right foot to the front of your mat. Remove the blocks. Shake out the head, yes, no. Get any of those cobwebs, let them all go. Hands are gonna come towards the thighs, bend the knees, tuck chin to chest on your inhale. As you exhale, roll up to standing. Inhale, arms sweep up to the sky. And exhale, hands are gonna come towards our heart space. Inhale, stand up tall, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge forward. Find that forward fold. Slide your hands to your shins, come into a halfway lift. And exhale, release down. Stepping your feet to the back of your mat to come into your plank. On knees or not, whatever feels best for you. Shift forward slightly. On your next exhale, draw the elbows towards the ribs as you come down either halfway or all the way down. Control that descent. Inhale, either coming up to your baby cobra or your up dog, whatever feels right for you in this position. And we'll exhale, finding our way into our downward facing dog. 2 breaths right here. On your next inhale, I want you to bend your knees, look forward, and either walk, hop, or step your feet to the front of your mat, coming into your forward fold. Bending those knees, rolling up to standing, arms spiral up to the sky. And on your exhale, right hand comes down, left arm sweeps up and over towards the right side. Rooting down into that left foot, tuck the abs. Inhale, torso comes up. Exhale, drop it over towards the left. Again, rooting down into the right foot. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Tuck the pelvis. Inhale, torso comes up. Exhale, sink into your chair. Pausing here in chair. Let the sensation grow. Sometimes the sensation, I always love it. I love it when I start to feel that warmth in my thighs. I'm like, okay, we're in the right spot. We're getting closer, we're getting closer. But notice what you run from and what you run away from, run to. So we all have our patterns that we like, places that feel really good for us, even in the state of being uncomfortable. Take one more breath. On your inhale, stand up tall, arms sweep up. Sink into your chair, shifting the weight to that right foot. Let that left heel lift. And then we're gonna drop that left heel down, stay low, and then lift the right heel. And drop it down, stay low, lift the left heel, and drop it down. And I always love, we're gonna go side to side here for about 15 more seconds. Always love, because there's places within this where I feel that little choppiness, especially from my left side. And on the right, it's like, not a thing. So it's so interesting how one side can feel something so different than the other. So the next time you have that left heel lifted, pause here. Pause, shift that weight more to the right, start to lift that left. Take a deep breath in, and then step it to the back of your mat. Crescent lunge, arms reach up to the sky. Bending in towards the right knee, relax the shoulders. Isn't that fun? Inhale, take the hands, bring them to the chest, straighten that front leg. On your exhale, push out with the hands, bend into the front knee. Inhale, hands to chest, and exhale, press out. So see, as we do this 3 more times, can you make sure that your toes aren't scrunching up? I may be talking to you, or I may just be talking to myself. And exhale, press out. And last one. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Bring your right hand to your hip, left arm staying straight. Tip up and over with the torso to the right side. Feel that big opening on the left outer hip. Hip flexor, quad. Relax those right toes. Inhale, I'm cheating because I have socks on. You can't see what I'm doing. Arms up, and as you exhale, hands are going to come towards the right thigh. Now shift forward, again, loading up that right leg. And then slowly start to lift that left leg up behind you. When we move slower, our body has more time to catch those little funny wobbles. And that's a good thing for us to embrace. Embrace the wobbles. Take one more deep breath in and out. Now, if that right leg is straight, bend it. We're going to open up warrior two. So softly plant left foot to the back of your mat and open up those arms forwards and backwards. Now the gaze can look forward or back. And you might test both of those positions to see what feels right for you. And even here, we have the luxury of a mirror here, so I can look to see what's actually happening with my right knee. I find it buckles in quite a bit to the arch. So let that left toe just pull in slightly towards the right. Now flip that right hand up to the sky. Inhale, reverse your warrior, but don't lose the bend within that right knee. Inhale, slowly come back to center. And on your exhale, right elbow down, left arm sweeps up, either straight up to the sky or bicep and ear. Get nice and close. Imagine this long length happening within that left whole side of the body. Drop the left shoulder back like you're leaning against a wall. On your inhale, torso comes up. And then straighten the right leg. Dial toes to the left side, 5-pointed star. So let the palms face open, maybe looking up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, or directly straight up above you. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, hinge forward. As you hinge forward, you can shake out the head yes or no. You might do some side-to-side movement if that feels right for you. And just focus in on your breath. Focus in on your body for today. Even throughout this day, you might start to even come back to the sensations that you feel in this class, like the sensation of that beginning meditation, and how those sensations of ease can become a natural part of your day. Life is a practice. If you think about it, the end result of life is that we've lived it. So the end of our journey is, I guess, the finish line that we have. But for me, it's how we fill all of these chapters in between. You know, stories of triumph, stories of failure. Think about any of those good books that you've read. They all have that mixture of everything that comes into it, the drama, the romance, the coming to terms. Coming into center, shake out the head, yes or no. And it might feel now, well, the world sometimes feels like it closes in on us during the winter. To me, it's a new opportunity to find our own inner warmth, our own inner fire. Bending those knees, we're going to roll up to standing. So how do you find your inner fire? Come and join us for yoga, and we get time to think about it. Let those toes face towards the front of your mat. Now you're going to take that left leg, and we're going to sweep it up and over, bringing it to our right thigh. And you can take as many steps as it takes to get into this position. Standing figure 4. Let your hips start to press back, and as they start to press back, your torso is hinging forward. And then once we get into a really comfortable position, I want you to then start to bend into the right knee. Now come back to that breath I talked about at the beginning of class. An automatic response for relaxation is to lengthen the exhale. The body instantly goes into a different place, calming the nervous system. So we're going to take 2 of those long breaths. So inhale for 4, let's say. Exhale for 8. One more inhale for 4. And exhale for 8. Gently pressing yourself up. Unhook that left foot. Step it back. We're going to come into Parashvattanasana, pyramid pose, so hands to hips. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, start to hinge forward. As you hinge forward, hands can come down either onto blocks or straight down to the ground, framing the right foot. You might encourage the head to go towards the right knee, even to wiggle the hips. And I talk about this a lot in class. A dramatic shift forwards and backwards can feel pretty good for the body. Or maybe stillness feels best for you. Give yourself another breath or 2. And maybe one more breath. And gently removing those blocks. Bending into that right knee. We're going to slowly lift to come up. Arms reach up to the sky. And then exhale, bend that right knee and step both feet to the back of your mat, coming into your plank position. You can always choose to come into child's pose or down dog if that feels best for you. Shifting the torso forward slightly, knees to earth or not. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, high plank to low plank. If you come to that low plank, shoulders don't go below those elbows. Flip the feet, inhale to your upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale to your down dog through tabletop or not. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. What do you have to let go of? Bending those knees, look forward, walk, hop, or step your feet to the front of your mat. Take a deep breath in and out. Bending those knees, just inhale, rolls you up to standing. Arms sweep up to the sky. And exhale, sink into your chair. We're all the way back here. So planting into that left foot, lift the right heel, drop it down, and then lift the left. Remember this on the other side? Sometimes it's funny, something that happened 4 or 5 minutes ago can feel like it happened an eon ago. I come into that quite a bit where I'm like, oh yeah. So sink down as low as you can, lifting up those heels, noticing what it feels like to strengthen our ankles. We use a lot of shoes throughout the day. Maybe not if we're at home a lot more. I know I have a shoeless household. And so it's also interesting when I have to put shoes back on.
after not wearing them for a long time, you start to notice how your foot has molded into a shoe, or molded the shoe down, I guess. Allowing for the right heel, left heel to lift. We have about 5 more seconds. And we're going to end up with that right heel lifted. Get down a little bit lower. Relax those shoulders. Notice what it feels like here. And maybe this is where we stay. Or if you want a little bit more oomph, a little bit more strength, start to lift that right foot up. Take a deep breath in, bend that left knee. Now slowly start to kick that foot back. We're going to land into our crescent lunge. Notice how you land your feet, arms stretch up to the sky. Maybe a sense of release that washes over us. So we're going to add some motion and movement here, relaxing those left toes. On your inhale, hands can come to chest, straightening the front leg. Exhale, press out. So let's circle out our shoulders. Inhale, hands to chest. Exhale to press out. Inhale, hands to chest, and exhale, press out. Notice how when you come up in this position, there is this sense of balance. We can be on 2 feet and have to focus in on our balance. And one more time. Now slowly plant your hands on top of the left thigh, bending into the left knee. Let the chest start to come forward. Roll to the front of those right toes, maybe lifting them up. See what that feels like. Are the hips even? If you bend deeper into that left knee, press back into the glute. Can you get more sensation to open up? And if so, does that feel right for you? Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, plant right foot to the back of your mat. Open up into your warrior 2. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Notice what that feels like as you find stillness. Are you equally placed in both of your feet? Is there power stemming from your feet? What's happening in the left knee? What's happening within our mind? Now flip the left hand up to the sky, and on your inhale, stretch it up. Don't lose the bend within that left knee. Take all of your breath and let it open up left side of the body. On your next inhale, we'll come back to our warrior 2. And then exhale, left elbow down towards the knee, right arm sweeps up. Bicep and ear get nice and close, or arms straight up, it's all good. Or half bind, can feel pretty nice too. Relax any of the strong sensations in the face. My go-to is usually like a grimace most of the time, so soften it. Now tuck the pelvis, inhale, torso comes up. We're gonna straighten the left leg and dial your toes towards the right side. Coming into our 5-pointed star, where hands can interlace behind the back. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, hinge forward, lead with the heart as you lower the head down. Shake it out. Shaking out, as we come into Halloween, shaking out those cobwebs, just making room, making space. It's a beautiful time of year, even as cliche as it might seem or sound. There is something that's so beautiful as watching these trees shed the leaves that have served them this whole year. In this whole cycle of the year, we watch their blossoms, how everything has started to emerge. We've watched them as they show how beautiful they can be, the green of the summer. And what it feels like, what it looks like to elegantly, to gracefully let it all go, so that it might happen again next year. Take a deep breath in and out. Bending those knees, We're going to gently, slowly roll up to standing. As we roll up to standing, all toes are going to face towards the front of your mat. We're going to find our figure four, so shift the weight to that left leg, and the right ankle is going to cross on top of the left thigh. Hands to hips, hands to heart space. Relax those shoulders. Now, start to pull the hips back. Don't worry about bending the left knee first. There's a softened quality, and our torso is hinging forward. Start to open up the sensations in the right hip. Now, once you start to feel like you've gotten that, then bend into the left knee. Relax the left toes, and notice any place on the body that is holding tension that maybe doesn't need to. Lengthen that exhale, come back into that automatic relaxation response. A slower exhale can bring us into it. Now, sometimes we need to fight against the current, and other times we need to let it go. One more. Inhale for 4, and exhale for 8. Slowly coming on up. Nice. Unhook the foot, step it back. We're going to come into our Parashvatanasanas, our pyramid pose, hands to hips. Relax those shoulders, take a deep breath in. On your exhale, hinging from the hips, keeping that left knee soft, start to hinge forward. As you're hinging forward, moving, there could be shifts and waves of motion that bring you from the weight being distributed from left foot to right foot. And maybe that motion, maybe that circle of energy starts to dissipate and find stillness. Maybe it doesn't, and it just keeps finding that sense of curiosity. And just give yourself another breath. We're going to bend both of our knees. And we're going to lift to come up nice and slowly. So from here, we're going to drop our right knee down, if you can, and then the left. Reaching the arms up to the sky. Hands go behind the back of the head, and then lean the head back into the hands. Relax the jaw. Take one more deep breath in. Notice what it feels like to open up our chest. Especially as the weather gets colder, we close things off. As we become more distant from others, we close things off. And it's a time for us to open up, to be vulnerable, to be ready for a hard conversation, for easy conversations, just to be ready. Slowly coming back up to center, dropping hands down to the mat, and just find some circles of the torso, shaking out the head, yes or no, gliding some lubrication into the hips and the shoulders, movement in the head, the neck. Notice where it feels sticky in the body and maybe where it feels sweet. You can go in both directions. And we'll come into neutral. And then we're just going to come down onto our glutes and we're going to face the paintings. Slowly releasing your back down towards the mat and hug those knees in towards your chest. Letting the knees rock side to side. And dropping the left foot down to the ground.
Right ankle goes on top of the left thigh. So second figure four of the day. Now you might choose to press that right hand into the right thigh and push the hip away. So that creates space within our lower back. If you feel any tension throughout the day in it, this figure four is a beautiful position for us to get into, to unlock our hips, and then always come back. You have a tool for the toolbox. Come into that longer exhalation. Hugging the knees into the chest while keeping that figure four cross. Maybe there's a gentle movement rocking of side to side. Let the jaw soften. Notice what's in your environment for today, for this moment. The normal sounds from your home, sounds from within this space. Notice how all these things can happen around us, and we have the opportunity to let it affect us or not. Many times, things that don't need to overwhelm us do overwhelm us. We always have that option to step back, to become the observer, to try to practice ahimsa, that non-violence. Again, it's a practice. Slowly releasing the left foot down and uncrossing the right. We'll switch to the other side. The left ankle is going to go on top of the right thigh. And either pressing that left leg away with the left hand or doing whatever feels right for you. You might jump right into keeping that cross and hugging those legs in towards the chest, coming into your figure four position. Our little back pigeon. Notice the shoulders. Again, that longer doubled exhalation, that automatic response to softening. Plus, when you're focusing in on the breath, all of those other tighter little spots start to loosen because they don't need to be holding on. Your mind focuses. Slowly releasing the right foot down to the ground and unhooking the left. We're just dropping those knees open to the opposite side. Soles of the feet will come together just for 2 breaths. Finding our Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands can go anywhere. I always like to put mine on my belly just to feel that opening. Our bellies can hold a lot of our anxiety and our tension. So a little extra love to that area is never a bad thing. I feel like we hold things in so much. It's good to give permission to let go. Slowly letting those knees start to come together. And then dropping both knees over towards the right side. And you can find any kind of twist that feels good for you. Let it be organic and let it be fluid from your body. Let the body, again, just soak down into the earth. Any energy can just settle and dissipate. And slowly letting those knees lift up, and we'll drop them over to the opposite side. Let the body be absorbed. Slowly letting those knees lift up. Give them a gentle squeeze in towards the chest. Take a deep breath in and extend those legs down the mat. As you extend them down the mat, see if you can let go of what happened during practice or maybe what didn't happen during practice. Let go of any sense of doing. Sense of holding. And just notice your breath. Just the way it feels as you are right now. Notice what it feels like to be supported and cradled, to find that peace. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And either choosing to stay right here or just encouraging some gentle movement, this curiosity from within the body, wiggling fingers, toes. How we change. You might gently guide yourself onto one side and up to seated. And bringing hands, once you're in seated or staying where you are, you might bring your hands right into the center of your third eye, pressing palms in towards each other. Practice kind thoughts for others, but most importantly for yourself. Bring your hands to your lips. Practice kind words for others, but most importantly for yourself. And bring your hands to your heart space. Practice kind actions for others, but most importantly for yourself. Thank you for joining me here today, for showing up as you are and being who you are. All that I am bows deeply to all that is within you. Namaste.